What if the biggest cause of cancer isn't only what everybody talks about, but it's hidden, things that we ignore? Now, we know Thomas Seyfried and others have talked about mitochondrial health and how important it is to remove away from sugar, and that's a starting point. But in our last 25 years of treating thousands of patients using the top integrated precision care, if a ketogenic diet was enough to get rid of those tumors, we would have so many remissions. It would be great, but it's not the whole picture. So today we're going to talk about and explain what are the real causes of cancer. Yes, that's part of the puzzle, but it's not the whole thing. It's not as easy as starving the cancer with just removing sugar. I'm Dr. Dino Prato, founder of Envita Medical Centers. By the grace of God, we've been able to help thousands of patients who have failed the top cancer hospitals in this country, and we've done it by using precision targeting. We've done that using 1,000+ markers instead of the typical 24, and that targeting makes all the difference. So let's talk about what really is causing cancer. It's two engines, mitochondria and mutations. Biphasic. It's not just mitochondria, and mitochondria is not just affected by glucose. It's affected by infections, which are rarely, if ever, tested by doctors ever. Viral, fungal, bacterial infections, mycotoxins destroy the mitochondria. And most of the patients we see with late-stage cancers have infections. They play a huge role. Chemical toxins, pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals. When we test, we see these things. These destroy the mitochondria as well as poor diet, high glucose in our foods. These are the causative agents. And they weaken the immune system, create an acidic environment, make the immune system weak, and then our immune system can't find cancers. It evades. That means those tumors and cancer cells mutate and evade. But at the same time, we have the mutations happening at the tumor level. And if you look at the typical discovery, like the hallmarks of cancers, you can see that there's both genetic drivers at the mitochondrial level, but there's also drivers at the tumor level and at the cancer cell level. And both have to be addressed. The mitochondria, yes, gets its energy from oxygen. It starts to shift from oxygen to fermentations, more lactic acid, and in addition to that, weakened immune system. And there you have a person who is more likely to developing a cancer. Even when they get cancer, it becomes more difficult to treat if those things are never addressed. So infections are rarely ever tested. I bring this up. We know that H. pylori gastrointestinal cancer, Epstein-Barr lymphoma, HPV cervical cancer, Lyme disease breast cancer. Yes, it was just published in 2024. For the last 20+ years, we've been testing for these infections. People are not tested for causative agents. Infections are a big deal. Infections are real and they're present and they're everywhere and they go untreated. Most people don't know their infectious disease load. They don't know their chemical toxic load. And they go on wondering what caused their cancer. That's it. So it's not just dietary. I'm going to keep it very simple because I've been doing this for years. Organic foods that are nutrient dense and are not filled with fillers, seed oils, chemical toxins, sugars, all that stuff's gone. You want to eat ketogenic? Great. A Mediterranean version of ketogenic or whatever works for you, a vegetarian version. You're eating healthy quality fats. You're eating healthy nutrients. That's what you want for the metabolism of the body. And that has to work for you long term, not short term. And this is important. According to the International Agency of Research on Cancers, the one that I want to address is toxins. The toxins that are involved in fungus, which we don't know, like alpha toxins, which are found in peanuts. If you eat them in high doses, liver cancers can be linked to that. That's what that data showed us. So we need to understand that mycotoxins are another big part of infections that go completely untested. And these fungal components have been found inside of tumors. We've seen it. And particularly in pancreatic tumors, we see it. So we test for these things and it completely ignored it. And everybody says, well, what caused my cancer? And I say, well, have you looked for chemicals, heavy metals, infections? We published a paper, I believe in 2014, which was called Infectious Causes of Cancer. People are just running around, cytomegalovirus, they may have HHV6, and these viruses and infections cause immune weakness, and that immune weakness goes and allows for unchecked mutations for cancers to grow and spread. So this is why it's so important. Doris Rapp, a good friend, wrote a book years ago, My Toxic World. She's gone home to the Lord since, and there are other people carrying on her great work, but we need a wake-up call to clean air, water, soil, getting the chemicals out of our food. This is not an integrative thing. This is just common sense medicine. We need nutrients, particularly when people are doing cancer treatment. Their body's so weakened. It's rocked by the chemotherapy. It's the wrong dose. It's the high dose. In my clinical opinion, and I can tell you 90% of our patients are on the wrong chemo when they arrive. They need the key nutrients to unlock healing so they can recover. After the medication or the half-life of the drug, they need to recover. People get brain fog from chemotherapy. They get neurological damage because they need recovery. They're not getting any recovery. And they're really damaging their body with the wrong dose, high dose chemotherapy, which is designed for populations, not for the individual. And I go into that because we're talking about the cause of cancer, but I'm also talking about the nutrients help to shut down these drivers. Antioxidants and nutrients that are helping your mitochondria. Mitochondria are so important for health. Intermittent fasting, all these things we've heard before. Gut health is so huge. Our gut is so powerful for our immunity. These fermented foods can be very powerful. They help the gut. There are certain type of probiotics that are really good for immunotherapy, that you want to have good gut microbiome. So eating fermented foods in the right portions with your meals. Some people can handle yogurt, some people fermented vegetables, but getting these into the diet, very helpful for immunity, having diversity in the gut microbiome. So these are common sense things. You need to clean up that diet. You need to test for these infections, chemicals, heavy metals. That's number one. Get them out of your body or begin a process to heal from those, where we start with cancer. That's the work we need to do. Stress plays a big role too. Stress weakens your immune system. I call this psychoimmunity, where people under severe stress and traumas, their immune system drops. If you go to a funeral, people have weakened immunity from this, the trauma, the stress, long-term stress. How do we overcome that? Through healing, through prayer. The scriptures are so huge for that. So we trust in God and start feeling peaceful, taking the right nutrients, getting the right sleep, getting our sleep patterns back. But what is also great is breath work. People spend time reading the Word of God and doing breath work like they do with exercise, 30 minutes a day. That's going to have a massive impact on neurochemistry. And neurochemistry affects immunity, because when you're calmer, your digestion is better, your immune system works better. This is another cause of cancer: stress, emotional stress. Now, we all have it, and you know, why does some get it and some don't get cancer? Some have more stress than others, because it's a combination of these factors. It's not one. And the important one is to know what's right for you. If I could reach across the screen and grab a sample of your blood and run all these tests and say, here's what you got going on, here's what you need to do, let's fix this. That's what patients need, is precision targeting, even with prevention care. Find out, what are your real risks? Chemicals, heavy metals, toxins, infections, metabolic issues. Those are the most common ones: the poor diet, the lifestyle ones. But if you add all these together, you really improve. Yes, get the sugar out. So get your oxygen levels up, good exercise. That's simple stuff you've heard everywhere, but get the infections cleaned up, get the chemicals and heavy metals cleaned up, decrease the inflammation, help the body heal, use the right combinations that are for you. I mean, today you have AI. You could put this information I just said into AI and build a diet program in a minute. If you're a cancer patient or even one who wants to prevent it, say, help me include certain foods, green tea. It'll have all these lists of great foods that you can include in the diet, intermittent fast, get your right protein as the core nutrient in the diet, making sure the protein's high quality, organic, and some intermittent fasting to come after senescent cells. These are cells that try to go rogue. You can clean them out of the body. There are actually phytotherapeutics and nutrients that help. It's pretty easy. You have all the technology, but it has to be something that works for you and your family. So minor changes make a huge difference. Building the immune system, cleaning the body, detoxifying, all these things are going to work to your advantage, because cancer is a multimodal disease. It's not one. It's like 100 of these things happening before we develop disease. There are genetic risks, inflammatory risks, infectious risks. So if we clean all these things out, now we really are reducing our risk. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to do early screening. Now we have liquid biopsies where you can just run a blood test for 50 cancers, 70 cancers in one blood test. And if that comes back positive, okay, now we got work to do, or we can find where it is, treat it really early, and get rid of it before it can involve serious treatment, or even worse, try to take your life. This is the key. Clean the liver. One of the oldest and most important naturopathic integrative care is functional medicine phase 1, 2, liver cleansing. Detoxify, help the body's digestion, enzymatic pathways in the body, helping those operate better. You can work with great doctors, get the right foods. And people tell you, eat blueberries, cruciferous vegetables, all this stuff's great. Hydration, electrolytes, all these things are going to help you. Getting the right minerals in your body, that is all going to help you. But the biggest causes of cancer is not knowing what your targets are, not knowing what you need to get rid of. Obviously, if you're a smoker, it's pretty easy. First step, get rid of smoking, reduce your alcohol. Those are basic ones. But the hidden ones are the hard ones, the ones you need testing for, like infections. So these everyday toxins that you're fighting, food, air, water toxins, improving those, gut dysbiosis, improving the microbiome, getting better sleep, reducing your stress, breath work as like exercise with prayer, mitochondrial repair and health things. See, all these things, the right nutrients, nutrient-dense diets, getting rid of the toxins. See, this is the key to cancer. It's not a one thing. It's not just fix the sugar, fix the terrain. And if you can get the right testing and the right targets and clean it up, get it right, you're going to always have a far better chance of not getting cancer, not getting heart disease, not getting diabetes, not getting dementia, Alzheimer's. These all have connections to these things. Get your healthy fats, the healthy ones. It can come from plant, can come from animals, but they have to be good. High protein at the core of the diet, because your body needs it to fuel. So you're not operating on sugar and poor metabolic function. See, it's all these things everybody's talking about, but it's putting it all together for you. That's the key. So this is how we really know what's causing cancer and the things you need to do to heal. I hope this was helpful. And I also want to add this other component, I think, is building love and community. Community is so important for us to feel loved and not alone. This is another thing that affects our immune system and our willing to live. The Lord has blessed us with families, relationships. Some of them are toxic and we need to create boundaries and create proper healing for those. And some are blessed and we need to encourage those. But that's going to play into your long-term health. People that are lonely don't live as long. You know, there were studies on men and women that get divorced and then the men never remarry and they don't live as long. So having relationships is so important. Precision testing to find out what are the facts that you need to help you that are the hallmarks of causes of cancer, like I just went into, and making those changes as well. May the Lord bless you on your journey to healing, and I hope this was helpful in helping you build a plan to avoid cancer or to target it so that you can get it out of your life and live a long, blessed life.